What's next? World of Warcraft official upload.
Hello, welcome to WoWcast. Today we're going to talk about WoW Classic Season of Discovery, and I have two special guests with me today.
I'm Nora Valletta. I'm a lead software engineer on WoW Classic.
I'm Josh Greenfield, and I'm a senior game producer on WoW Classic.
So, what is Season of Discovery?
Season of Discovery is a interesting new twist on WoW Classic that sort of revisits and recaptures the exploration aspect of World of Warcraft and really encourages players to get in tune with Azeroth and really pay attention to their surroundings and pick up on things that might be different.
Wait, you can get Libram at that low level?
Really pay attention
at 4? That does not sound real.
To their surroundings and pick up on things that might be different, things that might be new to them, and experience that.
Hello, Mr. Savix and
yeah, to add to that too, Season of Discovery, due to the kind of seasonal nature of it, it's a really great opportunity for us to take kind of a lot of risks and wild chances on things, and so also to kind of ask what if questions, like what if you could heal as a mage, or what if you could tank as a rogue.
I feel like mage healing is gonna be busted, chat. Mage is already the best class in Classic WoW. You can teleport around the world, blink on 20 seconds, make food, polymorph. Like, oh, dude, the only thing they didn't have is heal, and they get heal now. It's gonna be so scary in PvP fighting a mage. They're gonna be so strong.
Or a warlock, and these
the
are all
most control,
super
the most
interesting
CC,
twists
and the
on the class fantasy that we've sort of know and love about original World of Warcraft, and gives you a new way to approach, a new lens through which to view the original World of Warcraft world.
How does a new character experience Season of Discovery? Is it different than WoW Classic?
It'll be much the same as original World of Warcraft. When you first create your character, you'll kind of load into the game world at, say, Northshire Abbey if you're a human. You'll go kill wolves, kill a few kobolds, but when you hit level 2, pretty much right away, you're going to get your first quest to discover your first rune ability. And that's the first taste.
Wait, we get it right off the bat?
Of the discoveries in Season of Discovery.
Oh,
so you complete that quest.
You may just get Ice Lance at level 3. Dude, that is so fun, actually. Damn, I want to play a mage. If you guys don't know, I used to main a mage back in Wrath.
You get your first rune
Rogue
ability,
main and mage main.
Really
I have mage videos on my YouTube channel.
After that, the game doesn't really tell you what to do. It just kind of says, go
I should have
find
stayed mage. That was a mistake.
And that's really what Season of Discovery is all about, is going out and rediscovering the original World of Warcraft.
That's so cool that we get rune at level 2 to 3.
And there will be additional runes in later leveling brackets. Players will essentially, like Josh said, venture out into the world. They will work towards discovering these runes.
I thought we had to do something like Legend of Zelda, going into like a cave and jerking off a boss to get these runes, but I guess you could just get them off normal mobs too. That's cool, man.
And some of them are a little bit more involved than others. That being said, they are tied to some really cool abilities that players can mix and match. There are different
I'm sure the harder
slots
ones are,
and, find interesting new ways to play their class.
Different dudes.
So how do rune discoveries play into the class fantasies?
So if you can imagine yourself as perhaps a mage, right? Mages are able to manipulate fire, ice, and even time in some cases. And so you can imagine those discoveries for mages sort of playing into those things. You may end up having to manipulate those things over the course of having to discover and solve some of the riddles that will earn you some runes.
Yeah, to add on to that, one of the things that we're really interested in with Season of Discovery is giving a little exploration to, how does, for example, a dwarf priest differ from a undead priest, and how would they channel the energies of the light and the shadow differently? And it's safe to say that that's going to play into some of the discoveries and some of the things you're going to need to do to find some of the priest abilities.
What are you most excited about?
I'm personally very excited for players to really immerse themselves in Azeroth in a way that I feel like was easy, and it was kind of the only way to experience WoW Classic when it initially launched, because you didn't know what to expect. You were kind of adventuring out into the world. You couldn't just go and look up a guide on where to find everything or what to do. And so I look forward to having players experience that again.
You can find
I think for me, the
thing
I'm most excited about is new raid and dungeon content. I'm a big fan of in-game raiding, and we've got some really amazing stuff coming in Season of Discovery. We talked about this at BlizzCon, that the first raid is Black Fathom Deeps, which is it's an iconic leveling dungeon that we've converted into a new raid instance. We've completely from the ground up rebuilt all 7 bosses in the raid.
So cool.
Yeah, it's so much fun. And we got a lot of great feedback from BlizzCon on this, and we're super excited for people to actually see the whole raid in the wild.
Are there any adjustments from BlizzCon that we
I
can talk
didn't know.
about?
Yeah, we've been listening to a lot of feedback ever since BlizzCon. We've been reading social media. We've been playtesting still internally amongst ourselves. One of the fun things about Season of Discovery is we've gotten kind of a crack team together internally on the Classic team and the greater Team 2 World of Warcraft team together, and we've done a ton of raid playtests, ton of class playtests, and we've really been we've narrowed down this process to kind of process that feedback and act on it quickly. So we've already made a number of adjustments since BlizzCon, and I think players will be pleasantly surprised by a lot of those. The best thing about BlizzCon for this is that we got a lot of great feedback on the raid, and we kind of tuned the raid for fun.
Hi, Pete Perfectly.
Yo, sick little, thank you for the 4 months. Did they actually, because the raids were way too easy in BlizzCon. I hope they put some more mechanics and made it a little bit more challenging. That'll be fun. If it's like a breeze, that's not that fun for me, I think.
Fun at BlizzCon, right?
There's got to be a little challenge,
wasn't particularly punishing. We wanted people to really go in there and have
Boston's
fun.
Got to have a little bit of challenge.
Maybe cranked it up a little bit for the live release, and we think it's going to be a really
did they just crank up the maybe
fun challenge, and we also think it's going to be really rewarding. We've tuned the rewards to be very powerful for this level band.
Did watchers get farmed now?
Players have been asking, what's the right way to level up in Season Discovery?
I don't think there's a right way to level up in Season of Discovery.
Just level however you want.
The leveling journey in Season of Discovery is going to be pretty similar to how it was in original World of Warcraft. You can do quests, you can fight monsters, you can also do dungeons. But the thing that we really do like about the season is that there's so much in the outside world that you might find it as a little bit better use of your time to level in the outside world, to be able to find those runes and be able to keep your eyes peeled for wherever they might be lurking. Over the next hill or in the next cave or crypt.
And some of those runes will also encourage players to team up and solve puzzles together.
Yeah.
And so there is going to be a lot of collaboration involved, I think, between players.
What are some unique approaches that you guys are taking with Season of Discovery?
Yeah, I think that's one of the most exciting things about Season of Discovery is it gives us a chance to really try something daring and new. And one of the things we're really trying to do is keep as many of the discoveries that you're going to find on your class kind of hidden in a secret. And to that end, we're not having a public beta or a PTR. We're basically everyone's going to experience it all at once together. It will be fresh for everyone. In those first few weeks, we're going to see a ton of information sharing and secret finding communities pop up, and that's super exciting.
I like that a lot.
Another way in which we're kind of experimenting here is that, as you know, there is a zone-wide PvP event in Ashenvale, and we have plans for other, zone-wide PvP events in the future as well. And we want to make sure is that everyone's on an even playing field. One of the things we're doing is we will be actually trying to enforce some amount of faction balance on Season of Discovery servers.
Oh, wow.
And we're leaving it all very configurable, so we're going to kind of keep an eye on the situation and figure out what kind of balance feels appropriate.
I want to move on to another player question that
I'm afraid of that. So they're planning on the blue posts were that they want to make it 50-50 balanced. And it's a good approach, but at the same time, on our server, Horde, most of my friends that PvP are going Horde. And most of the PvE lords are playing Alliance. And one of the PvE lords is Asmon. And he's going to bring a lot of roaches in. And I feel like they're going to bloat up the numbers on Alliance, making it where people can't join Alliance side. And when Asmon stops playing, they're all going to stop playing. And Alliance might get fucked, dude. That's how it was on Faralina. Asmon was making Alliance pop out, and when he stopped, Alliance died off hard. And Horde was just dominating, man. Yeah, we might see a repeat of history, but I'm playing Alliance this time. I'm not Horde. I was Horde on 2019, so we'll see what happens. I hope Zar did say he's coming Alliance, so hopefully he's there too. I think we might be the few PvP streamers if we do go there.
I've been seeing, and that's how will class tuning work?
So we very purposely, we'll be keeping an eye on all the abilities. on the PvP situation, on, you know, the raid, and making sure that nothing is too absolutely bonkers. But we have been prioritizing fun over perfect balance. There is some aspect to things kind of feeling a little bit wild in a game that I think is very fun and important to have, especially in Season of Discovery, where we're kind of going into this with this experimentation mindset.
Yeah, particularly with the kind of level banded approach too. Trying to kind of chase perfect balance as we move through the level bands. It's probably not a great place for us to spend our time. We're definitely, like Nora said, we're going to look for outliers and things like that. But really, we're focused on making each class feel very fun and lean into each class's class fantasy and each level band. And then we'll, you know, obviously make adjustments as we go.
Gentlemen, this is important. I'm sure we have a lot of Retribution Paladin players in my stream right now. Very important message, okay? In retail WoW, I hated Divine Steed. We must fight for Divine Steed in Classic WoW. 1 minute Steed is like a sprint. Dude, that would be so hot for Paladin. That would be so fucking hot. You have no idea. Because I saw a spoiler that Red Paladins will get wings. I saw a picture. They posted it on accident. They removed it right away. I don't know if it was a bait, but I saw it. I saw them post on Twitter. There was a Paladin picture with the wings on it, and it disappeared after 2 hours. I don't know if that was a misinput or they leaked it on accident, but we're definitely getting more ability, and wing is one of them. We definitely want Divine Steed though, chat. It's very important. You guys need to be vocal about it. If you see it in the forum, be like, tick, 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 I want Divine Steed, okay? You need to push it, boys. You are the soldiers of the light. Dingus, thank you for the sub. Appreciate it.
We've seen a lot of players.
What about Wild? I mean, if we get Pursuit of Justice, even better. Or not Pursuit of Justice. Long Arm of the Law. If we get Long Arm of the Law, even better. But it's not realistic. Blizzard hates giving Paladin mobility.
Talking about basically trying to science through all the abilities and trying to like math out how they're gonna like succeed in the 1 to 25 leveling bracket, and that's like really awesome. But it's also like, hey, that's the first bracket.
Yeah.
You know, things may shift a little in the future brackets as you gain more abilities, and you know, and as the season progresses.
So what is the next level band after 1 to 25?
The level 25 to 40 level band. We're very excited about that. You're going to be able to get your 31 point talent, and you're also going to be able to go into a new raid. And we're happy to confirm that it is going to be Nomergon that you're going to go into at level 40.
Can't wait for everybody in the party to get lost.
Oh, I know, right?
It is in Alliance territory. How will Horde get there?
Yeah, one of the things we're doing with all the raids in Season of Discovery is we're actually, we're keeping the quests intact. We're kind of redoing them. In a lot of cases, we're upping the rewards for them. But one of the quests that the Horde has is to actually
you just do a quest and you get teleported there from Booty Bay. Does she not play Horde or something, man? Or
the teleporter from Stranglethorn Vale to Nomergon. And so we're going to maintain that quest.
Okay.
And like you said, it is Alliance territory. So we're going to do a little something special for the Horde here so that maybe they're on an even playing field going that deep into Alliance zones. Speaking
of PvP, as you're leveling through that, 25 to 40 leveling range, I think a very iconic zone for players, especially those who play on PvP realms, is Stranglethorn Vale. And so, I don't know, that might be a really good candidate for another zone-wide PvP.
Dude, I'm so excited for PvP, but at the same time, if I get sniped, I'm gonna go cold red. Break the brothers, time to pull through. I'm gonna be like Peo. Chad, I need backup right now. I usually like soloing, but if I'm getting jumped, dude, I'm gonna need that. I don't want to get camped on stream. That's gonna suck. Yeah, Subsonic, thank you for the 7 month, and Hassie, thank you for the 3 month. I appreciate it, man.
So with the new level band from 25 to 40, what do players need to do?
So I mean, the cap is just gonna raise, so they'll be able to level to 40, and they'll level, the same way they typically would maybe in WoW Classic. With the exception of there being a lot more for them to kind of stumble upon in the world and unlock some additional abilities in that band.
With your characters, what happens to them after Season Discovery?
That's something that we've been keeping in mind. We do want players to be able to preserve their characters that they have, sort of embarked on this new Season of Discovery journey with. And so we don't have concrete plans to share as of right now, but we do want to make sure players' characters are persisted in some way when the season ends.
Yeah, we want players to go somewhere with these characters that is a natural place for them to end up. You know, we're in a situation now where we're creating new items, we're doing all sorts of new different things. There might be new item sets, things like that. And would those work in Era? Potentially not, but it's very possible for seasonal characters to end up in some place that's not quite Era, but someplace really cool.
So when you guys are playing on the build and testing it out, do you guys have any fun stories you can share?
Yeah.
Yeah, tons. One of the funniest things about Season of Discovery is when we're play testing as a group internally together, we end up in situations where someone's like, oh yeah, this thing is from the original game, right? And we're like, no, that's actually new. And sort of the inverse of that is whenever the hardcore PTR actually came out, that first day that it was up, you know, I had logged in and I had created a dwarf character, and there's actually a quest in Cold Ridge Valley that asks you to get a rune in original World of Warcraft. It's completely unrelated to the rune system.
Are you ready to leave
but
full
I
10-man
panicked because I
paladin
forgot.
only raid
And I'm like
lord?
getting on the phone with
Yes. Actually, maybe we could do one for fun in the future, but I'm definitely not going to start off with that in 3 months. Yeah, thank you for the 3 months, man. PvP or PvE? I don't know what server, man. I'm going to have to like ask friends in Discord and whatnot. I hate that they didn't give us a server list first. I hate that. It's so dumb.
the rune system. But I panicked because I forgot. And I'm like getting on the phone with QA and trying to
Oh my
I'm like,
gosh.
oh no, it's in the build, it's in the build. It's not. It wasn't. It was totally just. And so it goes both ways. There's a lot of that kind of funny is this new? Is this old effect that happens, and it's just every time it happens, it's usually funny.
There was also a really early on, there was a rogue rune that essentially allowed them to kind of like kick somebody and knock them back a little ways, and there ended up being a bug. Maybe someone added an additional 0 or something, but like there ended up being a bug where like the knockback was insane, such that you would just knock them into orbit, basically. And like we saw, like someone demo it, and we're just like, yeah, maybe not.
Wait, Rogue's
and
getting a
in the
knockback,
interest
man?
of making sure Classic still feels like Classic, the
sounds
knockback
cool.
in general was something that we kind of decided to move away from, so you won't be able to knock people back to Rogue. But it was just a funny, what if you could knock somebody off into the totally different zone?
So before we wrap up,
was
is there
sick.
any other updates that you guys can share?
Yeah, since BlizzCon, we've been watching a ton of feedback. And
Oh, hey Josh. Hey Nora. Hi,
What
Bethany.
the fuck? I was
you know,
like, is this a TTS?
we're really strapped on time, and people really haven't been asking for anything like this, but I just made a new two-handed enhancement shaman rune, and I want to hear what you think about it.
that's great,
Okay,
man.
dude.
But we're kind of in the middle of something right now.
Oh, sorry guys.
Oh,
I'll see you later.
shit. Shamans are gonna be happy.
Well, I guess that wraps up Wowcast, so we'll see you guys next time.
Damn. Wait, I don't understand though, chat. Didn't shamans always have two-hander in Classic WoW? It was more of a retail thing where they're one-hand main, right? Other shamans could always use both hand. Because I remember watching Unbreakable with Sulfurous, and he was just going ham. We can two-hander, but it sucks. I see. So it was better to have like one hand each. I mean, enhance wasn't even a real thing. I was watching Peyo's stream, and dude, look, this is what Classic was. It's all fucking warrior. It's insane, man. It's insane. That's why when people say buff warrior, it's like, dude, warrior's too strong in Classic WoW, man. I think they're still gonna be very strong though. Anyways, I'm excited for this, man. I'm excited for this.